the perfunctory performance that you see me, do, I'm going to cancel that for today, for right now, only because there's some dire circumstances that we seem to be involved in here. And I dare say, folks, there's a time and a place for everything. And right now, it's all hands on deck. It is serious, serious business. I'm Doug Rice. Welcome to the Doug Rice Show. Shalom, D-Boss, Anton, all you guys. TikTok, for some reason, twice now, some very, very good TikTok lives, due to technical errors, were not recorded. And so, I like the TikTok vibe. I know that the YouTube vibe is a bit different. And with that, I think there are good shows on both platforms, but slightly different. Here you get a more controlled delivery. There's no, there's no massive writing that's, kind of keeping you going. But, folks, I pointed out some interesting information. Netflix, I know you folks have checked it out. The rejection of how things are is on the minds of our oppressors. And tonight, I am going to make a few things abundantly clear. I think it's time I cleared the air and made things crystal clear. Here's the reason why. I'm getting the feedback from folks who tend to think I have something against white people, which is, in my mind, ridiculous. I tell you what I've defined and determined that I am, have a little bit of angst regarding. And I've recently really kind of focused on this and gotten to the heart of it. It's the people who associate themselves with being white. That's who I'm talking about these days. I think the whole construct of race, as it applies to humans on this planet, with Negroes being at the bottom rung of the race ladder, and I would say Europeans, Anglo-Saxons, Caucasians. I can't really identify the specifics because so many are claiming to be of this race, of this white race. And I now understand that the mislabeling of the whole thing is the problem. And so it's not about white folks, it's about denying that whole label mechanism. We're not black folks, we're Hebrews, we're Negroes. I think I put it in a tweet. You're not white, you're German. You're not white, you're Italian. You're not white, you're Polish. You're not white, you're French. And I think the loss of tribes, the loss of the concept of tribes and how we are divided and how we are thought of, plays a large part in not only the future, but what we suffer today. Okay, so now there it is. Get a little bit of intelligent drivel from Doug Rice. I thank you, all of you, for even showing up. Remember, the numbers for me mean nothing. And I tell you, when I talk about being anti-popular, it's an absolute, listen to me, crowds are an indication that you're doing something wrong. Serious crowds are an indication. As a human being and as an individual who talks for a living as I do, who converses with folks as I do, and I think the message I have, I believe it rings true for most of us who are aware of our circumstances. And that's where black news comes into play. And the reason I do this, because I know that so few will listen in the grand scheme of things. So many have their eyes elsewhere. And I also know to expressly and overtly talk about the kingdom of God is the oddest thing anyone can do publicly. I don't give a fuck. I read scriptures. It says, wide is the road leading to destruction, narrow the road that leads to at least the hope of salvation. I don't even want to be presumptuous, folks. I just want to hope that maybe I make a right choice every second of every fucking day in this penal colony for Negroes we are trapped in. So I just want to make that clear. There is no white. There is no black. There is no red. There is no yellow. That whole racial construct is false. It is a lie. It is made up. It is almost, one might say, evil, only because it serves the purpose of maintaining the status quo of white people, those folks that identify themselves as white, over us, those that identify themselves as black. And that is neither fact but fiction. So there it is, folks. I think I've made my point clear. How's everybody fucking doing? How's everybody doing? I know it's a different vibe. I don't give a fuck. I can do this for as long as it takes, because first and foremost, they're working too hard to try to erase us. They work much too hard to try to erase Negroes from the conversation, from the topic. They do not want remembrance of our origins in the minds of anyone. Their children, themselves, us, our children. And it's almost as if they're looking for a fresh start. But no. A fresh start would mean an even playing field, and not just an even playing field, but an evening of the playing field. And they're not going to do that. So what they want is they want to keep what they've obtained through our sweat, tears, death, murder, strangulations, burnings, lynchings. I can go on, and shootings, and asphyxiations, and they're a hard word to pronounce. But my point is, they would rather we start fresh with them on top and remaining on top. And if they can't have that, then what they'll do is they'll remove themselves from society, create their own subcultured society with rules that don't include us, as I pointed out on Netflix a few days ago and yesterday. So here's where we are now. White supremacy is in full swing. These folks are serious. They're not playing. Now, a lot of what I said live, unfortunately, I think today or yesterday, whenever I did live, they didn't save it. Two of the best lives I did on TikTok, for some reason, due to technical difficulties, it wasn't recorded. And I find that, suspect. But I trust and pray that I can convey all that may have been missed. And I'm hoping that you folks take notes, pay attention, check my fucking math. And for God's sakes, whatever you fucking do, please get that goddamned grin off your fucking faces as you walk about this penal colony for Negroes. Know what the fuck they want you to forget. I need you to commit what they want forgotten to memory. It's important. It'll mean something later. Shit's afoot. Shit's happening. Shit's going down. And look, I'll tell you what, here's what you do. I espouse the kingdom of God. I believe in God's kingdom. I believe in God. I believe in the Creator. I believe the Creator is coming. But let's just say we remove that from the equation momentarily, only to look at things as they are without that included. Shit looks bad, don't it? Let's just say for a minute Doug Rice didn't say nothing about the kingdom. And all we had in front of us is what they do. How's that feel? How's that feel? See, that don't feel good. See, it don't feel right. It don't feel right, because here's the deal. If left unattended, they will kill us all. And if not physically, the memory of us will be murdered. I hope you understand that. What happens to us if they've determined they will not teach our origins to their children? When they look at us, who will we be if not the folks they enslaved? I mean, are we just going to be, are we even going to be? What is their intent with Negroes exactly? Because it's obvious the constant reminder of our being here is too much for them to fucking bear. And they're taking steps, especially since we've decided to throw our fucking hat in the ring and join in this bullshit and decide to vote. So all we had to do was show we had some political power, and now they've turned up the heat of white supremacy in this country, and they're trying to sear blackness out of it. And I hope you understand, by searing blackness out of America, suddenly we're people of color. You understand? We're minorities. Let me tell you something. I said this earlier. Rachel Maddow. I watch them all, but they're available free. I watch them all. I dabble in it all. But I watched as she did somersault, backflips, Greg Louganis shit to avoid associating us with Negroes, black people. She didn't want to say black people. She did not want to let come out of her mouth anything that pointed to us specifically. They're trying hard to obscure us. That's what they're doing. They're trying to obscure us into the relic of the past, something they no longer have to pay attention to, something they no longer have to deal with, something, and it's very convenient. I'm going to tell you something. It's a sinister plot. It's a sinister plot, the elimination of the Negro, and it started with Margaret motherfucking Sanger. If you think the sentiment of Miss Sanger does not resonate in today's America, folks, let me tell you something. You're not paying attention. We had a 50-year-old woman give birth just a few days ago. 50-year-old woman, 61-year-old husband, 50-year-old black Hebrew woman. And I can just imagine as today they go over Roe v. Wade, trying to determine just how the fuck they can save themselves. To read something like that, to have Negroes have children up in ages of 50 and more while they fight amongst themselves to save themselves from themselves. Well, folks, listen, it would be awkward. It certainly would sting a little. But if you can imagine the uproar of these beings that now dominate the American culture. Folks, I'm going to say it again. This is some of the stuff they cut out today. They're left now with the worst of them. Listen, Donald Trump and his ilk, his supporters, all of them are like him. Cowards, draft dodgers, disrespectful, self-absorbed, narcissistic, tiny, small-minded men, transactional in every way, self-aggrandizing, delusional, dishonest, unfaithful. This is a man 70 million people admire, and you wonder what the fuck's going on and why. I'll tell you why. Every one of the individuals who don't have those proclivities are dead. The vast number of dead in past wars put on, as I've said, by the fathers of Donald Trump, the fathers of the Bushes, grandfathers of the Bushes. These men funded the wars that killed the best of them, back to back to back to back to back. And now, look at who is representative of Donald J. Trump. Look at that individual. What does he look like? Disgruntled, angry. The mere thought, the possibility that something is being taken from these beings. They're mad generally. Why? For no cause, no reason. Not really. I mean, you got to think. Somebody is telling them that someone is taking their goddamned country. And it's my belief it's the recess of decency from amongst them. Almost like a receding hairline, exposing scalp. And I think that that's what they're feeling. They're feeling their own herd thinned and look about and don't see as many of them as they feel there should be. Meanwhile, their birth rates are low, their infant mortality rates are high. And quite frankly, folks, I'm just going to say it directly, they're not fucking. You want me to say it again? They're not fucking. I know it's crude. I'm a crude person. They're not. That's just, long, short of it, check my fucking math. All you got to do is look into it. And unfortunately, it's an impact. That coupled with the rate of abortions, a staggering number of individuals dead because they decided, it just was a bit inconvenient in some circumstances, in a lot of circumstances. I mean, I'm not pro-life, I'm pro-choice, but for God's sake, folks, they're killing folks at a rate you would never, listen, it's emaciating the population of the United States. And by the population, y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. Because everybody else seems to be just fine. All right. It's a good opening. What do you think, huh? Nice, slow, easy, focused, smaller crowd. So, I want to measure what I'm doing. Make sure you guys understand the format of the show, as everybody understands. All I do is search two words, two terms, black news, right there. Bam. And what I'm trying to do, if for those of you who are new, is just reinforce the need to avoid caucasity at every goddamn moment of your fucking life. To make you understand that you are prisoners, captives, held here. Don't listen to them invite you to leave. That's bullshit. They're not serious. But stop. Yeah. If they really wanted us to leave, they could let us go back in the 1800s. I just stop. So stop with the bullshit. They need us here to maintain the quote unquote greatness, the power, the deceitful, murderous, intentful rage that is an American icon in play. That's why they need us here to maintain America. And I dare say that most of us here, most Hebrews, don't understand that the very foundation of this country was based solely and predicated on our being in it, held captive, enslaved, and blessing it with our presence. I need you to understand that. Every superpower that has held us in captivity has become a superpower. And all you got to do is look. No other people held in captivity has had the effect that having Negroes in captivity has had. And that's just a fucking fact. You know what? it's odd that we're all waking up, and it's equally odd that they have a war against being woke. I mean, their definition of woke being some obscure, nonsensical, you know, pathetic attempt at realization, but ours is this epiphany, long held back hundreds of years. Folks trying to tell us, that we just begin and end at slavery. I'm going to put this on mute. I don't know how this is going through because it's not supposed to, which is odd. Bottom line, folks, we're waking the fuck up, and the world is waking up with us. I think that's important that we understand. It's not just the fact that we know we're Hebrews. Let me tell you when panic ensued. I believe panic began to ensue when Gentiles began to get in front of cameras and tell us that we are Hebrews. I believe that's when the wheels started coming off. I mean, isn't it interesting? I mean, this is shortly, the Obama years kind of got them all wrangled up. Boy, calling him boy, you lie in public against the president. Mad that he had a tan suit on. I mean, the scandal of the Obama presidency, for God's sakes, it's just amazing. Did he really put some fucking Grey Poupon on something? Because, quite frankly, I don't know how his presidency even lasted. That just is beyond me. You know what I mean? I mean, the suit, I was a little miffed. Okay? But the Poupon, the asking for that, I'm sorry. You just stop. I mean, geez, scandal. And you know what's interesting? The elegance of a man like Obama, who they've naturally mistaken for a Hebrew, which, is easy to do because he puts on so well. Right? And, that gave them, in their mind, this predicated permission to move forward and elect the most vile creature that could ever be created. Let me explain something to you. Donald Trump's mother wondered out loud what she gave birth to. Google it. I mean, if there's a poster boy for what we talk about, that's him. It's him. And the reason I can say that Donald Trump is the poster boy because they've made him the goddamn poster boy. A spineless, feckless coward. A weak motherfucker, for sure. Now, I can't imagine him ever being in a fight, but I'm 100% sure somebody punched him in his face, and that was the end of it. We know who we're talking about, man. And now he's representative of the motherfuckers that invaded the goddamn Capitol. I want to bring that up, too, as well. Let's just freestyle a little bit, okay? Check this shit out. Something I learned yesterday. All over this fucking country, there's laws on the books about insurrection, about taking up arms against this goddamned country. All over the books. It's in the state, it's in the federal, it's everywhere. Shit, it blew my mind. And not one of these motherfuckers have been charged with the crime of insurrection, the crime of trying to overthrow the government. And it's pretty clear they did what the crime describes. And not one of them, lightweight ass fucking approach to Caucasidy's crimes. Let me tell you something. If this doesn't skewer your mental hide, I don't know what the fuck does. If it doesn't piss you off, the kid gloves these motherfuckers are being handled with, God damn it, get the fuck out of this fucking live. Do you understand the penalties for what these motherfuckers did is fucking crazy. And again, they won't punish their fucking own. They let these motherfuckers go back home, fester like a fucking boil. And guess what they're doing? They're doing what's called the slow move toward revolution. They are putting in place folks all over the country, voted in by them, elected by them, appointed by them, so that if the apparatus, the voting apparatus, the fucking lie that voting takes place, motherfucker, you're voting. They have the mechanisms in place to overturn the shit. So let me just, in their minds, and I mean, I hate to say it in this manner, but until God comes to stop them, they're doing this shit. Until and unless God Almighty comes and puts these motherfuckers down, they're going to do this shit. And I need you, brothers and sisters who are listening, to understand what's in store for us if motherfuckers like this get in charge and to have their hands on the levers of this government making law. Negroes, let me tell you, I need you to understand what Jim Crow really was about. I mean, you need to understand that if a white person did it, it didn't fucking matter. And that's where we're headed. At this point, fuck running around with an AR-15. How about just seeking motherfuckers out in their home and clipping them because you fucking feel like it? And then claiming the privilege of being sarcastic and getting the fuck off. That's what they're aiming for. You think not? Well, I'll do this. If you don't think it's in their mind to do us harm, I will ask, and I've done this before, folks. I'll ask, because it's obvious it's on your goddamn mind. You want to really think on this? Here we go. If they thought that no one was coming to help us, what would they do to us? Yeah. So that, let's not fool ourselves. And I mean, it'll be a gradual, very incremental thing. Over time. The realization that there's really no help would sink in hours, days. But it's the drinking that would accelerate things. And let me tell you something about the base instincts of motherfuckers, because I know, and so do you. If it were thought at any moment that no one at any point would come to help specifically Negroes, what do you think they'd do? And now they smile in your goddamn face. I know they do. I know they keep to themselves. Shit, they mind their business, right? You know some, right? Okay, fine, I'm good with that. But folks, that's the ABCs of motherfucking cold, hard, goddamned reality. And I challenge any one of those motherfuckers to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, because they know what's in their fucking hearts. Yeah, they do. They know what's in their ranks. Yeah, they do. They know what surrounds us. And ever so often, you let one of us maybe compliment their girlfriend, see what happens. You want to know what they think about Negroes in this country? Do you really fucking want to know? Really? Do you really want to know what the heart of America thinks of us? Really? I think you know what they think of us as they grin and cheese in our fucking faces. And folks, don't get your panties in a bunch. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. just like we know who they're talking about when they talk about us. So please don't think for a goddamn second I'm somehow just glomming everybody into one fucking basket, because we know that's not true. We absolutely know it. I don't need to speak the known. Any one of these motherfuckers that gets in their goddamn feeling, they associate themselves with the people I'm talking about. I'm not talking about anybody that doesn't have it fucking coming. Why? They keep showing themselves. I mean, they're not coming out of nowhere. I mean, I got children in Utah go to school every day. 10-year-olds. What are they taught at home, you wonder? I don't know. I expect people in Utah who claim to serve God to teach their children, to teach children who may not look like them well. But when you send your child to school and you are faced with the horrible fact that due to the racial fucking bullying of elementary school children in the state of Utah, a 10-year-old black child has decided to kill herself. You want to know what they think of us. My goodness. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just going to keep reading. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. 7:31 in the evening. It's the 1st of December. I decided, fuck it, I'm going to do a YouTube live. Here's the reason why. TikTok is kind of a bitch. TikTok shows their fucking ass. They don't like what I say sometimes. I understand. I'm not apologetic. I'm not going to tone down. I'm not going to fucking cooperate. I'm not. Let me tell you something. I've had enough. I don't know about you. I've had enough. I don't expect any change. I don't expect anyone to understand. I don't give two fucks whether you get it or not. Please. I don't need to hear an explanation, insight. I don't need my attitude adjusted. What I need, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, my Hebrews. I just need the ability to be left alone in my own resolution. I've come to my own conclusions. They don't include caucasity. It's almost like plucking a fucking chicken. Yeah. They're trying to get away from it. All right. Black News. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's okay. It's hump day. It's Wednesday. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. If I am mistaken, I'm so sorry. Who the fuck, how would I know? Anyway, it is Wednesday. It is, I believe, the 1st of, dear God, thank God it's Wednesday, 1st of December, 2021. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the insurrection, of the attempted overthrow of this government and the establishment of overt extreme white supremacy, right-wing white nationalism. Now the pendulum swings, as I've explained to people over and over again. This pendulum began with Obama, swung us over to Trump, swung us now to Mr. Biden, and the mid-swing is the midterm of 2022. And let me just tell you folks, let me tell you something. You let Donald Trump survive until midterms and there be a flip of the Senate or House or both and partner dudes. Man, I can't even imagine the mayhem that will ensue. I dare say it will be a dangerous time for us. And when I say us, I'm talking about Hebrews. I'm talking about Negroes. I'm talking about the progeny of slaves. Those of you that descend from the transatlantic slave trade, I talk to you, my family. Hebrews, the royal family, royal line of David. That's right, folks. And, I say that, I try to say it as much as possible. I don't want to overdo it only because it's so important that we never forget that is who we are. It's not a guess for me, not anymore. I've read too much shit, okay? Plus, they run from it real hard. And to believe, to even think that the folks who now occupy Israel, that land promised to our ancestors, those individuals have no business in a place where darkness of skin is the order of the damn day. For goodness sake, folks, what are we talking about? Read the Balfour Act. Let's find out how it was established, but I don't want to digress. It's just, we are Hebrews, and I think it's understandable, that when, I say that, when I say we're Hebrews, that we are members of a royal family set apart, I understand how that will agitate so many, some even us. But the more I say it, hopefully the more you understand how important it is at this moment to grasp that as a fucking fact. Okay. It's a thing. All right. Black news. Finally, I'll get to it. I know it's a long opening, but it works. Black news. So today, I did go over this earlier, and I do believe I did it in the live debate between Chicago's Black and Latino leaders over the ward map. Grows bitter. If someone could stop both of those individuals and explain to them that neither of them owns any property in the ward they are bitterly fighting over. If someone could just stop them, like gangbangers fighting over rental property, is how stupid this shit sounds. I'm sorry, folks. I don't fucking care. Listen. There's nothing that I will promote that furthers this nonsense. Now, I want to be clear. I would never raise a single hand to stop it, though. Fuck that. No, not a rebel. No, I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything of any overt nature. No, it's not really necessary. First, we have many observations. We have many observers. I was going to say eyes on us, but we don't have physical eyes on us. Many are watching. That's probably the best way to put it. And so nothing is missed. God's got this. We have to rise up. There's no rising up. I want that understood. No rising up. In fact, I said it before. Sit your fucking ass down at that very table that you helped build. All I'm saying is, as you sit at this table, push back just so that you can steer clear of the caucasity radiating ever so often. Snatch! The fuck is presented to you? That's your shit. You understand me? Hey, fuck this. Yeah. It's over. Enslavement is over. I mean, it's not that we're too snatched, but the timidity. No, it's done. And I'm tired of eating a mile of their bullshit. We're done with that shit. No, you're not going to fucking sit and kill us. Then thoughts and prayer us to death. Talk it out on the goddamn circuit. Catch the killer alive, which is odd. I don't understand this. Motherfuckers sell cigarettes on the street, choked out. Motherfucker killed 9 people in the church, taken to Wendy's. Motherfucker killed 4 people in a school, 15-year-old, taken without incident? How is that even possible? Did I miss something? What the fuck is going on? All right. So debate between Chicago's Black and Latino. No. Stop that shit. What do we got? I did do some stuff earlier, but I'm going to do the griot. They're always good for something. Let's see what's going on. Oh, shit. First U.S. case of COVID Omicron confirmed in California. Who cares? And of course, they've got Dr. Fauci. Well, I mean, hey, I forgot I'm on YouTube. I love Dr. Fauci, don't you? Whew, just gotta be careful. Sorry, folks, almost. So, South African president blasts U.S. other nations for travel bans. And I saw him do it. He said there will be no travel bans. There'll be none of that shit. You can come, you can go, unvaccinated, vaccinated. I don't care. It was wonderful. I've been to Oklahoma. I know what they think. You do know what they think of us? How you doing, SFC Cape Killer? Hey, D-Rod, what up? Oh, goodness. Sorry, guys. You know I don't look over here. And we keep the commandments. That's right. Not the laws, the commandments. The laws are too many. 619. The commandments, only 10. Remember what they did to the commandments, Nika? They rearranged the 10 commandments. I hope everybody understands that. It was a TikTok video not long ago, but that happened. All right. I'm losing my voice. Oh, shit. 40 minutes and I'm losing my voice. I can't fucking believe it. Shit. All right, folks, listen. I want the last portion of what I said is very important. You understand? I don't foment revolt because you ain't going to win. That's first. Stop. That's an impossible task. Stop arming yourselves. Stop getting all riled up. No, Hebrews, we don't have to do none of that. None of that is called for as Hebrews. Honestly, it's what I understand scripturally. Honestly, I mean, we can all look to the examples given how God rescued us, how God preserved us, how God has made sure we still exist. And one thing I think I'll leave you with, I need everybody to consider everything over 400 years that has gone into eliminating us. There are overt attempts at eliminating Negroes. This is just their latest. It's a pretty good plan. However, despite those odds, despite those numerical monstrosities, each of us is. And that fact alone burns a hole in their heart. I literally can sense that the fact that we exist here to talk about that very thing they don't want discussed, in fact, to talk about their part in enslaving us, is a topic tied so closely with who we are that to try to forget their involvement would also mean to forget the origins of where we came from. I'm not going to let that happen. It's insane. All right, so without losing my voice, I'm going to have to take a break. But you guys, please, thanks for watching. Share. I think I'm at 976 followers. I just need about 25 more. I'll be at 1,000. All organically, which somebody says is pretty impressive. You do 1,000 followers without any, systems. Anyway, all right, folks, share this. Thank you so much. Follow me on TikTok. It's a Doug Rice Show.